Hi everybody, it's Carla. It is a rainy, dreary day, and it's a perfect day to sit inside and kind of go over some of the things I've purchased at yard sales and thrift stores over the last week. And these purchases are all books, so let me show you. All right, these are books I'm hoping to read. I'm not the best reader in the world, but I am trying to bring books more into my life. I want to cut out some, TV watching, and I want to focus a little bit of the imagination that you can use when you're using your mind to read. We could all be sitting in a room reading the exact same book, and we're not glaring at a TV screen and seeing the same image. All of our minds are conjuring up the images, the colors, the sights, the sounds, the smells that we're reading about. And I think that's one of the wonderful things that make reading such a joy. So these are books that I got all on my thrifting adventures. And I stopped at a yard sale and I got one. And that's the one I'll show you first. I like the Harry Potter movies that I have seen. I haven't seen them all, but and I do like the books, and this was $2 at a yard sale, and it was like brand new condition. I mean, or very, very good condition. And it's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So actually I started reading that in the car to my hubby, and we made it 43 pages on a ride from a nearby town. And that's kind of fun to take a book along, and we do that sometimes. We'll have a book in the car, and as we're driving, I'll just read it, and no radio. It's just nice, and my husband enjoys it, and I enjoy it. So Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This book looked interesting. I just love pretty book covers. I think, of course they make the covers to draw us in so we can look at their product. But I just love this image here, and it's called Jeremy Visick, and it's by David Weissman. This story blends the mystery and awe of the supernatural with the real terror and peril of descending the shaft of an 1850 Cornish copper mine, an exciting, irreversible path to a courageous, satisfying ending. So I thought that sounded like a good book. Jeremy Visick. This book is I Am Rose Marie by Marietta Moskin. This was a thrift store find. It's an old library edition. You can see how it's bound. But it says, on a bright May morning in 1940, Rose Marie Brenner was contentedly planning her summer vacation. Her childhood in Amsterdam, where she lived in a beautiful home with her parents and grandmother, had been a happy one filled with good memories of school friends and holidays. Suddenly and irrevocably, the pattern of life was destroyed as the Nazis invaded and occupied Holland. So I Am Rose Marie. And I love historical fiction. And but this, I guess, is based on a true story. But, with fiction they can elaborate and things that you can't do otherwise. But I'm looking forward to that. I Am Rose Marie. This one is Anne Lamott, Imperfect Birds. And it says, a powerful and redemptive novel of love and family from the beloved and best-selling Anne Lamott. And it says, this is the most honest and heartrending novel exploring our human quest for connection and salvation as it exposes the traps that life and we set for ourselves. It's about parents and children, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. I haven't started that one. I love books about different religions. It helps you to see the way things were. And the Shakers were back like from 1800 on in America. They were a celibate believing religion, so it only took a short while for that basically to die out because no new faithful were being brought into the world. They believed men and women to live separate, and the ones that did come in with children, there was no more children, and as people grew up and went on, pretty soon it was left with nobody. But it's called The Believers, a novel of Shaker life by Janice Holt Giles. I love this TV show, and I know it's been off for a while. Jennifer Garner, and it was Alias, and it was about spies and thrillers, and on location shots around the world, and I just love that show. And this is called Alias: A Secret Life, an original prequel novel based on the hit TV series. So I got it because I just love that show. It's a very thin book, and I thought that would be interesting to read. This is Lisa Jackson, Malice. I have no idea. This is a brand new book, and I got that at the thrift store. I love the cover, and I think that's, like I said, covers are what draws us in. It's a drop of blood coming off her name, so it's got to be something. The scent is unmistakable. Gardenias, sweet and delicate, the same perfume that his beautiful first wife Jennifer always wore. Opening his eyes in the hospital room where he's recovering from an accident, New Orleans detective Rick Bentz sees her standing in the doorway. Then Jennifer blows him a kiss and disappears. But it couldn't have been Jennifer. She had died 12 years ago. So that's the way this book starts. And I think that might be interesting. The next one is Cold Kiss by Amy Garvey. It says, beautiful and haunting, every page tore me apart. I thought this was a beautiful cover. I just love how they do these covers. Be careful. Danny was mine, I was his, and that wasn't going to work if he was dead. It says, what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. So I would make him not dead, not anymore. That was my first mistake. It also turned out to be the biggest. So this is interesting. I'm not sure what kind of fiction it is, but Cold Kiss by Amy Garvey. The next one is, you'll probably remember the Disney movie National Treasure. This is a Gates family mystery by Catherine Hapka called Changing Tides, and it is part of this National Treasure. As America grows, one family strives to unlock her secrets. Samuel Gates has always been drawn to tales of brave explorers in far-off lands, but stories were not enough to live on when in 1612 the Gates family loses everything. To help restore their reputation and seek a new fortune, Samuel, along with his brother William, must leave the familiar streets of London for an uncertain world, the Americas. So I thought that would be an interesting historical fiction. Next is The Blue Bottle Club, a novel by Penelope Stokes. Again, this book is kind of beat up, and it's, kind of old and yellowed. But I love the old print picture here of these 4 girls on the front. Probably early 1900s, maybe in the 1920s. The Blue Bottle Club. It says, it was a magical moment. In the dim stillness of the Camerons' dusky attic, with their dreams captured in a cobalt blue bottle, 4 friends joined hands and reached out toward the unknown. We commit our dreams to the future, Letitia said quietly. To the future, the others echoed. Letitia dreamed of marriage to her high school sweetheart. Mary Love hoped to become a famous artist. Wealthy Eleanor aspired to help those in need as a social worker. Adora, the preacher's daughter, yearned to be a Hollywood film star. Will the fulfillment of their dreams bring them happiness, or will they awake from their dreams to find destinies yet unimagined? Keep your eyes and your heart open. So, The Blue Bottle Club, a novel by Penelope J. Stokes. This one is by Philip Lee Williams, Blue Crystal, a novel. And again, I think this was a library copy. It is. It's from a library in Georgia. And it's got this protective cover, but I'm going to take these plastic covers off if I can and just have a nice paper cover, and I think it looks better on the shelf. I love this picture though. Lightning coming out of the sky and this tiny cabin in the woods. Let's see what this was about. From Philip Lee Williams, the author of 6 critically acclaimed novels, comes a riveting psychological thriller set deep in the secret heart of a Kentucky cave country. Blue Crystal exposes evil and chaos lurking just beneath the surface of a picture-perfect rural town. In a world ripped apart by sudden and random violence, a man will struggle to survive, to find rebirth and redemption in the rising waters of an underground hell. So Blue Crystal by Philip Lee Williams. That looks pretty good. Now, like I said, I'm not the best reader in the world, so it'll take me a while to read through these. And I actually have a book order coming from thriftbooks.com, which is very inexpensive. They gather books, used books from thrift stores and places all around the country, and then they are shipped to you with totally free shipping. So that is thriftbooks.com, thriftbooks.com. So when that comes, I will do a haul and show you what I purchased there. This is one I got at the thrift store, and it's called The Secret of Sabrina Flood by Pauline Fisk. I guess this is a British author. And it says, a young girl floats through the early morning mist, caught up in the currents of the river. What is she doing in the water? Why doesn't anyone notice her as she goes by? Who is she? Her story unravels as the river bends through the surrounding countryside. Her story is both ancient and modern, and the girl follows a trail that takes her far back into history, uncovering the mysteries that surround her present. The Secret of Sabrina Flood is a story that will thrill readers with every turn of the page, a stunning American debut for this award-winning British author. So again, The Secret of Sabrina Flood by Pauline Fisk. And I love the book jacket on here. And on the back is the river that she's in. Very nice. I like that book. Okay, the next one is The Kingdom of Ohio, a novel by Matthew Fleming. After discovering an old photograph, an elderly antiques dealer living in present-day Los Angeles is forced to revisit the history he has spent years trying to deny. The photograph depicts a man and a woman. The man is Peter Force, a young frontier adventurer who comes to New York City in 1901 and quickly finds a job digging the first subway tunnels beneath the metropolis. The woman is Sherry Ann Toledo, a beautiful mathematical prodigy whose memories appear to come from another world. The two meet seemingly by chance, and at first Peter dismisses her tales about a vanished kingdom of Ohio as pure fantasy, but as events progress, he begins to suspect that nothing happens by accident. When the two are drawn into a tangle of overlapping intrigues involving some of the most famous figures of the era, Peter is forced to re-examine Sherry Ann's fantastic story and to confront the possibility that the woman he is falling in love with has discovered the dangerous secret to changing the fabric of the past. Against the electric, maze-like streets and tunnels of New York City at the beginning of the mechanical age, Peter and Sherry Ann find themselves wrestling with the nature of history, technology, and the unfolding of time itself. So, The Kingdom of Ohio, a novel by Matthew Fleming. And finally, this one was in a with two other books. One might be in this pile, I don't remember, but the other one was just a junk book. But they were packaged together at the thrift store, 3 for $1. And this is a hardback book. It's like brand new. I don't even know if it's ever been cracked open. But it is on, if you go on YouTube, the book, and go through the book hauls and book review channels, this was on everybody's list, and I was just amazed that I could find this in almost a brand new copy for $1. Well, with 3 books in there, so what, 34 cents a piece? You could not beat that. So, The Night Circus, a novel by Erin Morgenstern. And this sounds neat. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements precede it, no paper notices plastered on lampposts and billboards. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. Within these nocturnal black and white striped tents awaits an utterly unique experience, a feast for the senses, where one can get lost in a maze of clouds, meander through a lush garden made of ice, stare in wonderment at the tattooed contortionist folding herself in a small glass box, and become deliciously tipsy from the scents of caramel and cinnamon that waft through the air. Welcome to Le Cirque des Rêves. Beyond the smoke and mirrors, however, a fierce competition is underway, a contest between 2 young illusionists, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood to compete in a game to which they have been irrevocably bound by their mercurial masters. Unbeknownst to the players, this is a game in which only one can be left standing, and the circus is but the stage for a remarkable battle of imagination and will. As the circus travels around the world, the feats of magic gain fantastical new height with every stop. The game is well underway in the lives of all those involved. The eccentric circus owner, the elusive contortionist, the mystical fortune teller, and a pair of red-headed twins born backstage among them are swept up in the wake of spells and charms. But when Celia discovers that Marco is her adversary, they begin to think of the game not as a competition, but as a wonderful collaboration. With no knowledge of how the game must end, they innocently tumble headfirst into love, a deep, passionate, and magical love that makes the lights flicker and the room grow warm whenever they so much as brush hands. Their masters still pull the strings, however, and this unforeseen occurrence forces them to intervene with dangerous consequences, leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. Both playful and seductive, The Night Circus, Aaron Morgenstern's spell-casting debut, is a mesmerizing love story for the ages. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful book, and it sounds like really fun. But the circus, it just appears, and then in the morning light it disappears, and it just repeats as it's going around these wonderful characters. So I'm looking forward to reading that book, and a beautiful cover there. So I hope you like all these books. This is a book haul, but it's a thrifted book haul, and one from a yard sale, and that was the let's see, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. That was my only yard sale one. Everything else came from a thrift store, and I was very fortunate to find all these books. So I've got to start getting busy, and I hope you liked. And show me the books that you would like to read, or the books you're reading right now. I would love to see your book hauls. Love to see books that interest you, and a little synopsis read of what the book's about. And it might just get other people interested in getting that same book and reading. We can have fun doing this. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you like this video. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.